My name is Ario, I'm a sound designer, and I wanted to start recording my progress on a text-to-speech that I'm making in Unreal. It's fully generated with synthesizers, and there's no pre-recorded samples. An idea for this, or a template from this that I'm getting, is from an early speech synthesizers called the Voder, and it uses a synthesizer for the vibration of the vocal cords. It's like ah, and another one for the breath, like ah. Listen to this.
One of these represents the breath. The other, the vibration of the vocal cords. There are no.
And here's how it sounds like in action.
Who saw you?
She saw me.
Whom did she see?
She saw me.
So here's, this is really messy right now. I'm in the middle of rearranging some stuff and trying out different things. But basically, I have a saw wave to represent the voicing or the vibration of the vocal cords. And I chose a saw wave because it has every single harmonic. Unlike a square wave, for example, which just has every other harmonic. So having every single harmonic is a nice clean slate for me to be able to use, because the way you distinguish different vowels is by boosting certain frequencies. And these are called formants. We have the fundamental, which is the actual pitch, but the formants are like what changes. If I keep the same pitch, but I change my formants, it goes like I, ow, I, ow, I. And these are my first three formants. I'm not doing any more formants than that. You really only need the first two formants to distinguish from vowel to vowel, but the third one also helps. So let me give you a demonstration of that. So that's what that sounds like. Right? I'm just boosting different frequencies, and suddenly it just sounds like vowels. The other part, I'm using a white noise for the breath. And I just have a bunch of filters to make certain frequencies louder than others. But this is far from complete. I will get back to this later and talk about where I might be missing some things over here. In the blueprint, first of all, I have a little translator. I'm not using actual English spellings. That's going to be insanely difficult, because if you type out I dropped the bass, you don't know, the computer doesn't know if you're talking about did you drop the bass or did you drop the bass, right? Because then you need contextual clues to figure that out, and that's, I think, going into the realm of machine learning, and I wanted to do this without machine learning. So I'm just going to do the a phonetic alphabet. This translator takes an alphabet called X-Sampa, which is basically just a way to write the phonetic alphabet using a standard American keyboard. So I take something like this. The squiggly bracket represents the A vowel. And I run it through this transcriber. This is what it looks like. And an annoying thing is arrays in Unreal are not case sensitive. So it really caused me some pain over here, but I was able to get it to work. And it spits it out in IPA. Once I have it in IPA, I run it through a data table. Let me get that up. It's very incomplete. I just have 5 different sounds here. But like, this is the vowel for E. So here it is for the S sound. I take all of these parameters and I just feed them into the MetaSounds, but this will not work. And here's where I'm getting into the section where I'm stuck at. What I made here, and I just didn't think about this when I was making this, but here is, for example, the attack, how long it takes to fade in. It takes 20 milliseconds to fade in. This is executing. I put it all through event tick, right? Where I get the vowel that I'm trying to use, and in event tick, I'm making it fade in. This is not going to work. Event tick happens every frame. So if I want to make a fade in that lasts 20 seconds, that's not going to happen. Depends on your frame rate, right? If you have a really low frame rate, there's not going to be a fade in. It's just going to cut in. So I have to figure that out. I think one thing that I can do is I can make it into a buffer, queue everything up, and then once I have all of the information, I have it play on the MetaSounds. And I think that I might do is take in all this information as an array, feed the array into the MetaSounds, and then I don't even know if you can have for loops in MetaSounds, but I'll break up the array in the MetaSounds and then go through every single vowel and consonant and play them out. Regardless of any of that I do, I'm definitely missing something. Let me show you what it sounds like currently. Okay, this is the word sassy. And this is what it sounds like right now.
Sassy.
It's not the greatest. And one of the main issues that I'm having with this is the transition from an S to a vowel.
Sassy.
It cuts right to it. And I've tried a few different things. I was able to get it to sound like this. Kind of sounds like there's a transition, but it's still not good enough. Here, let me show you what it sounds like with a human.
Sa, sa.
And with the synth, it sounds like it's cutting right over, but they're actually both fading in at the same speed. They're both fading in over like 20 to 30 milliseconds. I forget what it was exactly. So I brought it into this program called Pratt. This is used by phoneticians, by linguists, to analyze speech sounds. Over here on the left, this is the human voice. Let me play that again.
Sa, sa.
It's just the first part, the sa part. The one at the very right, this is the one that I made in Unreal. And this middle one, so Pratt actually has its own synthesized text-to-speech. So I tried it out and to see what it sounded like. So if we go play text, I'm just going to put sa. I mean, that's what it sounds like. It's not great, but I just wanted to see what it looked like, and that's this middle one. Even though it sounded awful, the actual spectrograph looks far more similar to the actual human voice than mine does. So these are the things that I need to be figuring out. One thing is these red lines, these are the formants. These are the frequencies that are boosted, and this is what gives the vowels a character. You'll notice for the S sound, they're kind of all over the place because it's kind of a white noise. I might need to boost a little bit more in the low ends, but I'm not sure. The high ends are a lot louder for these two compared to mine. So there might be things that I can change about the S vowel itself, or the S consonant itself. And then when it comes to the vowels, I mean, these look more natural. Mine is very linear. It's just dead straight. In the natural version, the first formant starts at a very low frequency and it moves up. I could try that. The third formant is something that's consistent amongst these two that I don't have, and it like really dips down and comes back up. And mine does not really do that. So I can see if I can use that as a transition. The last thing that I'm seeing is the intensity, which is the green line, which I think when they say intensity, they actually just mean amplitude, maybe? But either way, my vowel is apparently much lower in intensity compared to here. So these are the things that I've been trying to work towards and figure out. And when I do figure some stuff out, I'll be making some more recordings, going over them. Have a nice day.